I just vision myself a moment where I'm on a beach.
And you've got money coming in.
Tropical beach.
Yeah.
You know those ones where the water's like crystal blue?
Between a couple of employees to 10 employees, then the next jump will come from 10 and past that. How are you envisioning those next steps?
Yeah, that's a great question.
Can't stand where the last one sang. This one, that one, you simulate, baby. Call my toes.
Luigi, welcome to the Outcomes Income podcast. It's awesome to have you on, and we appreciate you taking time out of your day to be here.
No probs.
We see how busy you are on a day-to-day
Yeah.
basis, so we appreciate you making the journey over to come see us.
Yeah, no probs. That's fine.
So let's get straight in there for everyone that kind of, because there's a lot of people that know a lot about you. They watch your YouTube, they probably see you on Instagram as well. But you as an individual, why did you get into entrepreneurship? Why did you want to get into business as a whole, right?
That's a great question. I think for me, it was a case of, it was always kind of with me from a young age. I don't know where it came from. I don't know why I was like that, but I definitely had that spark when I was younger. Because when I was 12, I was in school, I was year 7, and I remember importing, New Era hats from China. I used to import those in bulk, so like 100, 200, and then sell them in school. And I used to sell loads of them.
Mate, fair play. I was expecting like the classic chocolate bar story, like you go and buy like the 4-pack of 12s for £1 and then sell them all for £1. Mate, fair play.
So I did that, and then that works pretty well. I used to sell them on eBay though, and then I got my mum banned from PayPal.
Come on, elaborate.
So
why did you get banned?
I think they was counterfeit, basically, but I didn't know like what
Right,
I kind of
exclusive. You heard it here first. Luigi Newton selling counterfeit goods from the age of 12.
Obviously, I kind of knew, but for me, I was just I don't know that
mate,
they're
fair
fake. So obviously, my mum was just pissed, angry at me, but she didn't really use PayPal, so it was all good. I did New Era hats, used to sell them on eBay and in person. And then I did memory cards as well. I did School Candy earphones, Dr. Dre Beats earphones. I used to do all that stuff.
Yeah.
So I definitely had that spark.
So you had the trader mindset from the beginning. Because a lot of the people that I know that are in business, when you go back to the early days, it's always, I bought something and I sold it, So being able to buy something in bulk or buy something where you can get a discount and then being able to sell it for somewhere where you can get, retail buys for it, effectively, you were obviously doing it online. So that's a really interesting kind of start to your journey. Kind of talk me through from when you went to there to actually today to where you are. What was that kind of journey looking like in summary, really?
So obviously I was 12 then, now I'm 27.
Yeah.
So this is a long period of time. So much stuff's happened in my life.
Yeah.
I feel like I've just lived a crazy life, really, to be honest. When I look back at my childhood and growing up and stuff like that, just a lot of stuff happened. And it kind of shaped me to what I am now, but I just think that the entrepreneur side, I kind of lost it in my teenage years when I was, 15, 16. I was, going down the wrong path. I would smoke weed and stuff like that, and it made me very forgetful, hanging around with the wrong people, getting in trouble. And then it basically, I realized when I was 18, 2 of my very close friends went to prison for a long time, and just for something crazy that they did. And then it made me realize I need to change. I need to fix up and actually do something with my life. I didn't know what though, so I was so lost. Ended up trying to go into kickboxing and be a professional kickboxer. That was my big goal, but I didn't love it like the way I love property now. So, and I just realized that I wanted to make money, and I just thought, it's very slim chances that I'll get to that top 1% where they actually make big money. So I thought, if I go into business, then I'm more likely to become rich, basically. That's what was one of my life goals, what I wanted to do. And then I thought, right, cool, I'm gonna go towards that goal. So I knew about property, because to be honest with you, my mum bought a house when about 25 years ago for 80 grand. And now it's worth about 400 grand. And she was always kind of like bragging to me a little bit like, this is what I did, this is what I did. So for me, it was like, cool, I'm going to do that. But I'm going to try and get 10 of them. Or at that time, I just thought, I'm going to try and get a few of them.
Yeah. There wasn't so much strategy. It was just more like, this is what I want to do.
Yeah, the strategy came when I started to study it, right? Mm-hmm. I know property is the way, right? Let me study it. Then it's a case of when you start looking into it, I'm looking on YouTube and I'm seeing lots of information on YouTube.
Yeah.
Then I'm reading books that YouTubers are recommending, Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Yeah.
So I've done all that studying before I got my first one. And then obviously I bought my first one, but I was looking for a discounted property. And that's what I managed to find. So,
Brilliant.
yeah.
So taking a step back, so you said something which is quite interesting to me. So you said, I got into business because I want to get rich, right? And I think that to a lot of people is very open-ended and very wide, because rich could be £100,000 in the bank, it could be £1 million, could be $1 billion, whatever. So everyone has a different perception in terms of what rich is.
Yeah.
So what's your ultimate goal? What does rich look like to you? If you could perceive your best life in terms of, I've made it, right? What would that look like? So if you had to look into the future, what would that look like for you?
I guess private jets.
Nice.
Obviously-
Run the
Here
full,
we go.
the
Yeah,
full
when you
9
think
yards,
of rich, for me, I just think private jets, luxury lifestyle, holiday lifestyle, all that stuff there. Obviously, now I don't aspire for rich. I want to become wealthy.
Yeah.
So I think there's a big difference between rich and wealthy. So for me, obviously that's my goal now. But
So
when you-
asset rich then. So
Asset
you want
rich.
to be asset rich more than materialistically rich. Because
Yeah.
I see a lot of people on Instagram, right, and I never really understood it fully until I started to watch a few documentaries about this. But I started to understand that really a lot of what is on Instagram and social media and all the rest of it, it's people perceiving rich and wealth as in all these materialistic objects.
Yeah.
But the reality is when you look and when you uncover what the wealthy have and do and all the rest of it, and I've seen people's bank accounts and I've seen people's asset management sheets as well, they're all asset rich. They're not necessarily cash rich, they're asset rich as well. But those assets create cash flow that give them the lifestyle that they want to do. So they live off the cash flow, not off a bank balance, which is reducing every single day, right?
Exactly. And that's it. So for me, it's all about, right, I'm aggressively trying to build a property portfolio, which I know you guys do the same. So that's one of the goals, to build wealth through property.
Right.
And yeah.
So you want to build up properties or portfolio to a size which is big enough to throw off enough cash flow to let you live the lifestyle that you always wanted to live, right?
Yeah, so I'm seeing each property as their own individual business. So I like to do HMOs or serviced accommodations. For me, I need to be excited by that individual business. So if it's only going to make a few £100 a month, it doesn't excite me.
Yeah.
But if I know it can potentially make, £2,000 a month or more, then I'm like, yeah, cool. And I'll do that. So I want to get loads of those. Obviously, also blocks of flats. I've just offered on 2 today. So finally, we're managing to stepping up on what we're doing. But basically, I buy for cash flow. So yeah, for me, cash flow is so important. So yeah, I'm just trying to get as many high cash flowing properties as possible, basically.